Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, welcome to your favorite AFTERBUZZ TV after show for Reign. You guys don't forget to follow us on
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
We're on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud. We have made ourselves so available. It's like going into our living room. However you guys want to listen or see us, just it's all there. It's all available. And we love your. By the way, it's because we want to deliver the content for you guys in the best of ways, and you guys interact so well with us, and so we're trying to up our interaction game. If you want to directly interact with us as the Reign panel, ABTV Reign is the hashtag. Whether on Instagram.
ABTV Reign.
That's right. And you are at what?
I'm at Keetin Marchi because I'm your host today.
And I'll say mine is AfterBuzz TV. I am not AfterBuzz TV, but that's my Twitter. And Fania and JB, we've kind of sacrificed themselves.
We banished them today.
There you go.
Fania has class, and JB had to stay at work really late, so we miss you both. But you guys get just me and Phil today.
That's
right. I know we're your favorites, so don't complain. Hashtag we're not royal bros though.
We're not.
We don't have our t-shirts today, but
they come out on special occasions.
They do. I do have my Castle book for Castle Corner, so thank you again, Bree. I just want do we want to jump into the episode? It was a great episode.
Absolutely. It was a fantastic episode.
It was episode 12.
I thought for a minute, I'd read conflicting reports that it was going to be kind of almost like a finale until March type of deal, but obviously there's one next week. It was really good. So many secrets and lies and consequences. And
a big death, which was fun, but banished is the name of the episode, and I think that title rings true with so many relationships that have kind of been really, really key relationships this season are now done.
Well, even just starting with Narcisse.
Narcisse came back! Our wishes came true! We got to see his lovely face, if it was just for a fleeting moment, when he was in...
He was a little humbled. I thought for sure the only way to tame him was to kill him.
Really?
Well, I've said it how many episodes on this show.
I think he's obviously not killing him. I think that's definitely going to come and bite them in the butt at some point.
Maybe. I hope not. I mean, it's good to know that, if we're talking about Narcisse, it's good to know that he's not... there's other solutions besides death on enemies.
Well, and it definitely shows that, there is a huge difference between... Francis's rule and Henry's rule. If that would have happened with, Henry and one of his lords, dead, not even questioned. Even with Catherine, when Catherine was kind of had more power as the queen consort, I think dead. Yeah. Dead as a doornail. But Francis and Mary have both been trying to be different people and different rulers, and I think that is a huge indication that they are moving in the right direction in some way by not killing him. But let's talk a little bit more about Mary and Francis, because their relationship, we saw it grow this episode. We really did, from what Mary has been dealing with since the terrible event when the radicals entered and raped her. Then she's been dealing with a lot of just emotional trauma since then, and I feel like Francis has been trying so hard to work with her again. He wants her back in his life. He doesn't want them to be living separate lives.
It's like any relationship, the guy just gives to the woman.
Phil.
But no, on a more serious note, here's the thing. She's always still had that great line. And you know what? She finally, she threw out the olive branch at the beginning of the episode and said, when he's saying, "There's so many advisors that are giving me advice, but it's impartial because they all want a piece of the prize." And she said, "I don't need a piece of the prize. I can help you."
Yeah.
But at the same time, is she, to that point, is she obviously Conde is deserving of land, but is she giving it to him because he fully deserves it? Or she's giving him a piece of the prize because she is the piece of the prize?
Well, and I think we also need to remember where Mary came from at the end of last week's episode of seeing Francis and Lola and their child kind of in that family unit, where she was excited to go to Francis to be like, "I want to work with you again. I want to work this out. I want to be together." And she was very quickly kind of, she thought she was taking a huge step forward, but I feel like that sent her like 3 steps back. And obviously we saw in this episode as well with her interactions with Conde that she is comfortable to touch Conde, and she's not comfortable to touch Francis. And Francis actually saw that comfort after she shied away from him and like still kind of gave him excuses of, "I just don't like to be touched by men." And then he was, I feel like, hurt in the same way Mary was hurt when she saw him and Lola lying together, that, it's something that he can't be there. He can't fill that void. Whereas Mary can't fill the void that Lola obviously fills for Francis. And that's a hard thing to swallow, I think, as a ruler, a king. You can basically have whatever you want, and the thing he wants most, which is his wife, his best friend, his love, to be his partner, and she's kind of refusing that right now.
Well, Conde threw it right back in his face. He said, "You weren't there when she needed you the most," and that
was low. I'm sorry, Conde.
But it's also true. It's also true.
I know, but I agree. I agree that Phil. Phil needs to turn off his cell phone during these after shows.
It's all my fans. It's all my fans tweeting me.
They're blowing him up. No, I think that was a low blow of Conde. I don't think it's right that now that Conde has these feelings outed for Mary, I don't like that is now making him so aggressive towards Francis. I don't think that's fair, because Francis has done nothing to Conde but protect him, but try to help him in the best way that he can as king. And for Conde to kind of to turn on him and kind of stab him in the back by, it's not Conde's fault for falling in love with Mary. She's obviously a ravishing lady, great personality. She's amazing. But it's not, I don't think that's fair. I think Conde is absolutely in the wrong in this scenario. I can understand him being frustrated with Francis for the reason that Mary had to go through that terrible trauma, but Francis was trying to do everything in his power at the time of what he thought was best to fix things for him and Mary. So, Conde, grow up. That's all I have to say.
He does have. I mean, Conde's always been that childish type of character. He does very noble things, and he's a gentleman.
No, he's a playboy.
Yes, that's true.
He was a huge playboy before he came into
this is true.
French court.
So yeah, this is true, and that's that fight, the quarterstaff fight. I think
that was great. It reminded me of something out of like Harry Potter, when like the drum string guys come in and they're all like, I wanted like sparks to fly out of the bow staff. I was like, it's Donatello from Ninja Turtles.
It was good on its own without the Harry Potter element. But you didn't want to keep score. I wanted her to keep score. I think it ultimately ended up
won
because he broke the staff.
Yeah, that was a badass move. He's just
I don't know the full rules.
Denied. I don't know. I feel like if you break somebody's staff, and then Conde was trying to play dirty with it. Conde tried to get real dirty, and stab him with that broken staff. And it's like, you can't kill the king. Why didn't Conde get arrested for attempted murder on the king? Not that I want Conde to leave anytime soon, ladies. I do love him. He is a very, very good-looking man, and I really like having him on my television screen every Thursday night. But I don't know. I feel like he's getting away with a lot. Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff.
But it's going to come back to bite him eventually. So we'll see. We'll see. I really liked. I got to give Francis credit in the way he's kind of dealt this whole Mary thing, because when he comes in at the end, like, "Hey, how are you doing?" and obviously we'll talk about Greer and all of that and how it fully affects Mary, but in terms of coming there and being like, "Hey, not for nothing. I just want to be here. No ulterior motives, no politics, blah blah. I just want to watch you." It could be interpreted creepy, but in the moment it's sweet.
Clay Aiken song. Do you know
wanna...
what song I'm talking about?
No idea. I'm sure the female audience does.
I won't go into it, but you all know what Clay Aiken song I'm talking about when Francis is saying, "I just want to watch you."
All right.
It's okay. I'll send it to you. I'll send you a link. But before we get into kind of the Greer thing, we saw at the end that Mary went to Lola again. We didn't see much of Lola this episode, which I was sad because Lola is awesome.
But her role has been smaller and smaller as of late. I mean, she's just basically, the mother of Francis's child, and other than that, she doesn't. I mean, since she was the big play in the Narcisse story, especially early on. But now, she doesn't really need that much of a purpose.
I don't know. Mary's using her. Mary's trying to pair her off with Conde to, she thinks that they would be a good match. And I thought Lola coming out at Conde being like, "I'm here to protect my friend regardless, so I don't care how noble you think your actions are. This cannot be. You need to step off, because what's most important is that Mary and Francis's relationship work out. So if that's going to take us trying to make this work, let's do it." And I think Conde liked the sassy.
Okay, does he like it? Or is he, does he like the sassy just because he knows he can possibly get somewhere? It's like, you know what? This is someone I could see myself with. Because he says, let's see where it goes and blah, blah, blah. But is it like, okay, let's see where this goes into the bedroom, or let's see where this goes long term?
I think it's let's see where this goes politically. I think Conde's a lot sneakier than we give him credit for after meeting his brother and seeing where he comes from. I think that he's accepting kind of Lola's proposal, not only because she's sassy, she's cute, she's popular to boot, but she also has...
You were doing so well, and you just cracked up. It was good. Keep going.
She also obviously is technically the official mistress. She has the legitimized child of Francis. So I think not Bash. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Conde is like
Freudian slip.
I know, Freudian slip. Conde is like, there's a lot of moves politically he can make having Lola close. Mm-hmm. He's smart, but Lola's smart. So I don't know.
Lola thought she was smart. Lola always thought she was smart, and then...
Are you kidding me?
She's made some mistakes. Let's be real. Everyone has.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, well, people need... This episode was about people paying for their mistakes and, dealing with the consequences. And so, you know what? Lola, watch out, because guess what? Claude's dealt with it her whole life, a consequence of one mistake.
That wasn't Claude's mistake.
That wasn't her mistake, but that was a mistake.
Do you want to talk about Claude right now?
Not yet.
Okay, let's not talk about. Let's talk about Greer, because Greer, who we have seen a lot of since we've come back. I mean, I guess it's just been one episode, but it looks like Greer's going to be gone for a while. I hope that's not the case.
No, she's out.
But
how are we going to see? I mean, that was quite a definitive goodbye.
That was rough. I mean, we haven't had to say goodbye to one of Mary's ladies since Ailey, was that her name? The cute braids who fell down the stairs when she died. The cat, the poison, I don't know. But that was all the ladies have been safe recently. So I'm very surprised that the story did go this route, that Mary can't save Greer. And I like it. I don't like that Greer's leaving, but I do like that kind of nobody's safe type of thing.
And a couple of things. I mean, the way Mary was talking about it, she really believes this is the last time that they'll see each other. I really do. I think it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, more so, knowing that, I mean, regardless of whether or not they knew, they funded radicals. And it was the radicals who did this unspeakable act to Mary. And so, does she hold Greer accountable in any sort of way?
I don't think she does. But I think what hurt her most out of this whole situation is that Greer lied to her. Mm-hmm. I feel like because Greer obviously has been such a rock for her, dealing with the immediate aftermath of everything that's kind of happened, that I think that was a huge betrayal for her. That Greer lied, even though she understands why. I mean, there's nothing she can do. And I don't think Mary's... it really annoyed me that it was like this huge announcement in the middle of the party. I don't understand why that was the case, or what. That just seemed really odd to me. And just
it could have been done in private. Yeah.
Like, I don't see that happening.
It's not like, hey, the castle's on fire, everybody get out.
Everybody get out. It's like everybody's having a good old time. Everybody's chilling. And this random guy walks in and is like, we found the ledger and she is guilty. Take her away. And it's like, really, dude?
Now, what happened to the plan of, because they made the deal with the partnership and she handed her full partnership away and all that. Like, is that going to come back into play, or was she just duped and she's literally given away everything?
She
lost everything now.
She lost everything, so I feel like that guy is going to lose everything. This is the thing. I don't think Laith is going to sit idle while Greer disappears, or while Greer has nothing. I think Laith is now going to swoop in some way. My question is, where is Castleroy? Like, can Greer go now to Castleroy, and does he? I mean, obviously he has land and holdings other places. Like, can she go to him, and can they be safe? Like, can she? I don't know.
Yes, but how does he get word of this? How does she get word to him? Blah blah.
Maybe it's a Laith situation. I see Laith truly stepping up and helping her out in this situation to at least get to Castleroy. I think it's going to be a dramatic goodbye between her and Laith of, thank you.
Yeah, but you can't just search for where did Castleroy? Like, he's in pretty much an unknown place.
No, Castleroy he went back to his family.
Okay.
So. Greer chose to stay with Mary.
Yeah,
and
but
now
Mary's
Mary's kicked her out.
Yeah, but now that this is known about Castleroy, like, he has to.
He's probably has to go to hiding too.
That's what I'm saying. You can't just search for through the woods for Castleroy.
But he's not in France anymore. So I feel like by him not being in France, thus he can't really be arrested by the French or whatever. And as we saw with Greer, like, they have nothing that proves. Like, I mean, they know that they've given money. They know that they've given money to the radicals, but nothing that proves that they were actually knowingly funding this attack.
Got it.
So,
okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Greer's gone for good, and I think Laith, in all of his glory, is going to help her out. But it is very sad that Mary had to say goodbye to one of her oldest friends.
They all keep saying that.
They all said. I think each of them said that at one point in tonight's episode.
You're my oldest friend, Keetin.
She's my oldest friend. Oh, yes. Oh, that's so sweet, Val.
What? It just got It just got thrown in my face. I was trying to be nice.
I'm so sorry. I thought you were quoting something from the show.
No. I don't think Keetin is on the show yet.
Oh, well, yeah. Hashtag get Keetin on Reign. Woot woot. This is very important, everybody. You have to put it out there, Phil. It's a new year, 2015.
Let's do it. Here's what I will say. There
are a lot of extras in that party scene. I could have been in the corner.
There you go. You don't put Keetin in the corner. And if you're a male listening on iTunes, what are you doing with your life? Go over on iTunes. No, not iTunes. Go over on YouTube. Check out Keetin. She's got her little hair thing. Her hair's now a little bit more blonde.
No, this is a flattery right now. I channeled my inner Kenna with this.
There you go.
I tried to, I don't know, usually she's the one with the florals and she's so hippie. She's like the hippie of the group. So, anyways, speaking of Kenna, thank you, Phil. This is a great segue.
That's what I was going for.
Kenna in bed. How cute was she sitting on that bed waiting for her hubby to come in and, to congratulate him about, all of his new rewards from Francis and all this.
She didn't really know that. She was kind of upset with him, and then he told her that stuff.
I know, but she was upset with him, but she was so cute. And she was
But, I mean, here's the thing. Is it funny how materialistic she is? Because she went from absolute anger to complete joy to a whole, to the point that, like, hey, here we are in a bed. Let
me strip off your clothes. I mean, if Bash came into my room and, started sharing that type of information. Yep, that Kenna has the right idea. You gotta love. That's like Kenna's charm is like how materialistic she is.
Okay.
She's so sweet in that way, as sweet as you can be, with that trait.
Oh, what a good trait to have.
Right? I thought it was really cute, and then I loved the storyline of the monster-in-law, mother-in-law Diane showing up, and her and Kenna's reaction to seeing each other again. And I honestly had completely forgot kind of what their relationship was back when Kenna was Henry's mistress. So I'm really happy they brought her back, and I loved that interaction, and I loved that scene between them, and it was so funny and so awkward, and Bash was great, and just I thank you to the writers for that fun scene.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and Bash was kind of trying to make some peace, but as the mother, I would have thought, like, hey, here's Bash who just brought me in. Let me try to make peace with Bash at least, and not upset him. Because that was upsetting at the very least when he's about to get some. Or at the very least, he's about to tell her some news, and she just barges in and starts this, anytime you can get your wife pissed off, like, that's not a good situation to be in. So I'd be kind of upset with Diane right from the start. And then obviously, as truth unfolds itself, tying back to Claude, Bash has every right to be fully upset with Diane.
Yes. Diane, I don't think we ever saw how truly evil she is. I remember in season 1, I felt a lot of sympathy for her, like, because of all the hatred. Like,
because of we were kind of rooting because of Kenna, and it was like, what was she to do? She was getting pushed out. She didn't have many options.
Yeah.
And she, there was that line like, hey, it's very easy to become a mistress, very hard to hold on to.
To hold on to it.
So, I not credit. I don't give her credit, but it is of interest to know.
Well, she's obviously a very smart lady. She's a very conniving lady, like just as much as Catherine. I mean, to go toe-to-toe with Catherine for the 10 plus years that you were Henry's mistress, I mean, that is not an easy feat. We all know Catherine is not one to mess with.
But could you say that she succeeded? I mean, Henry, he slept with anything that moved. And if her goal was not to...
But Diane stayed his official mistress. She got what she got, things that she wanted. Her son was recognized by Henry, raised as his son. I mean, she didn't come out empty-handed. I'll say that. For a mistress, she did all right for herself.
Came out swinging. It's true, but partly I blame her, and I'm disgusted at her. But then to Kenna's point, as she says to Bash, do you know what it's like to be in a woman in this world, and your only power is, just a man's sympathies?
I love.
So
I
don't,
that scene. I loved that speech by Kenna, and I think that I loved that kind of acknowledgement of like, hey, snap out of it. Like, I am your wife. Don't talk to me like this. And I think she had every right, obviously,
to want to kill him.
She didn't want to kill Bash. And like she said, she didn't realize that by getting rid of Diane, Kenna didn't think that far ahead. She was as she said, she just wanted to get rid of Diane. And at that time, her and Bash didn't even have a relationship. Like, I think Bash, the way he flipped out about that, I think he seemed like a baby. And I was like, get over it, Bash. I know it's bad and it sucked, but it didn't happen. She was trying to protect herself. Like, I mean, what do you expect? Like, he was just as scared of Henry as she was. It's like, come on, dude. Grow up, Bash. Come on. I hate being mad at Bash. He's my favorite. I just don't like it. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I thought Conde was your favorite.
Conde's being a little brat this week.
Okay.
No, Bash will always be my favorite. Are you kidding me? Stop.
You were Team Francis for the longest time. Show me replay episodes.
Stop. No. I was always Team Francis. I was Team Francis because I wanted Francis and Mary to be together.
Okay.
Bash has always been my favorite kid, though. He's such a good guy. He's just a good dude.
He is.
He always just wants to do the right thing. Bash kind of helps Claude in this episode figure out who actually killed these twin girls.
He saves her.
He does save her.
I mean, he saved her. Like, he's rectified her whole life.
He finds out that it was actually... He finds the nanny who actually supposedly left the windows open, which froze the twins to death and killed the twins. Which is great, but then
he had the wherewithal to say, okay, this isn't the end of the story. There's more to this story.
Bash is so good.
And that's a dark, dark story.
And then goes...
So many people at fault. Henry, Catherine, post fact, the nanny, yes.
I mean, I don't blame Catherine at all. This is the thing.
But she covered it. She bears
what do you expect from a grieving mother who just lost 2 of her like newborn children? Like and she thinks in her mind it was her like other young daughter. And like that's the one thing. Catherine's like a mama bear. You do not mess with her cubs. She goes crazy. So I can't even imagine what she was going through at that time. For her, all she needs to think about now, she's grieving for her other daughters, and all she wants to do is protect her other one, as well as try to be able to find forgiveness for this daughter who killed her other 2 kids. Like, that's what's in Catherine's mind. So, I don't know.
So she has, I mean, well, she will say she certainly bears the guilt of it. I mean, that scene when, and we didn't quite know what was going on with the dream sequence and whatever, but obviously it was leading... It was, I don't know, it was the spirits pointing her in the direction of how they actually died. Because it was, she was about to die in the same manner of hypothermia in this case.
Yeah, just like the twins. I mean, I was so, throughout this whole episode, I was like, I'm so confused. Like, are these figments of her imagination? Like, are these actual spirits? Are they a little bit of both? I just don't know, and I still don't know. But I'm really, really sad Henry's gone. I'm so sad.
Well, she had the, again, I give her so much credit. Go back to your hell, and I'll live in mine. I will always live with my guilt, but I will not live with you.
Yeah, which I think Catherine was so, like, she was able to have closure on so many things this episode. She got to tell Henry everything that she's ever wanted to tell him about. You ruined our family. I hate what you did. She was completely honest with him. She got to kind of close the book on the guilt that she felt for her 2 daughters who died. And she got to frickin' kill Diane. And she found out that it was Diane who actually killed her twins. So she has someone that she can actually, blame instead of blaming herself. And she was like, bye, bitch.
Here's where she doesn't have closure with Claude yet.
Well, because Claude hasn't forgiven her.
Well, Claude hasn't... Well, we haven't seen them interact yet. After Claude knows the fact of, oh, wait, it wasn't, it was the nanny, blah, blah, and we haven't seen Catherine, now that she knows the full truth, interact with Claude.
Yeah.
And so I think to an extent, obviously, Catherine's going to be, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and obviously in a much different, better way. But I also think Claude can find a way to forgive Catherine. Because of what Claude knows, it was a framing.
Yeah.
And so what was Catherine to think? And there's been anything otherwise.
But I'm wondering if Bash is actually going to let this innocent woman, well, she wasn't fully innocent. I wonder if he's going to really let her die.
I don't think, no, they just took her, here's the thing, they just took her away. And so I think she might, in the case of like Greer, she'll have her titles stripped and all that, because obviously she was paid off by the king for these things.
Yeah.
So I think but you know what? They'll make her a nanny again, whatever.
I don't know. I feel like Claude is gonna, it's because it's only Catherine and Bash who know that Diane was really the one who killed the twins. I wonder if that information will ever get to Claude, especially now that Diane is dead, and that's obviously gonna get out. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how that resolves itself. But I think Catherine and Claude are so much alike. I want to see them work together. I want to see them make amends. They're both so I don't know why I keep saying sassy tonight. They're so sassy. So and they're both so maniacal. I want to see them working together. I want to see them team up. I want to see a mother-daughter duo kick some butt. So, is there anything we missed?
We touched on everything overall. I'm sure there's so many things to talk about and whatever else, and we can dissect it from any number of ways. But you guys let us know because we love interacting with you.
I know you guys.
You, the fans.
The fans, yeah. I mean, I love it. I think I try to respond to all the comments on YouTube this week. Sorry if I didn't get to yours, but thank you for correcting us when we're wrong and telling us your predictions and just keeping the discussion going because it's so much fun. I know we all read them. So they're great. Who's ready for Castle Corner really quick? Because we're running out of time. Are you ready for Castle Corner?
We need like a Barney styled like little.
I want trumpets.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Next week we'll have the trumpets queued up, ready to go for Castle Corner. But this week, thanks to my Castles of Britain and Ireland book, which
it's not your book, it's our book.
Well, it comes home with me every week, so
it's still not your book.
Fine, it's our book. Thanks to our book, I chose this week Stirling Castle. Now,
it's a beautiful castle.
It's a beautiful castle. It's up on a hill.
For those of you watching,
For those of you watching, we'll put some of these pictures online. But a few facts about Stirling Castle. Let's see. It's actually in it's in Scotland. It's in Stirling, Scotland. That's why it's called Stirling Castle. But let's see. Mary, Queen of Scots, our Mary, you guys. Some people were kind of commenting about if we know history or not. And yes, I do know the history of Mary, Queen of Scots.
I don't.
Well, I'm going to teach you some. So Mary, Queen of Scots was brought to this castle as an infant for safety after her father died. And she was crowned there in 1543 when she was 9 months old and spent several years of her childhood there. In 1561, a candle caught fire on the hangings of the bed in which Mary was sleeping, and she narrowly escaped death. In 1560, that was 1561. In 1565, Mary nursed Lord Damley to health in this castle as he recovered from the measles. She is said to have fallen in love with him during this time, and he became her second husband. Spoiler alert. You guys should all know that. Mary's son, James VI, was baptized there to celebrate. The castle held the first fireworks display in Scotland's history. How about that?
That we know of.
You guys, so you guys understand the sheer size of this castle. At one point, a full-size ship was brought into the Great Hall during a banquet in 1594. And it was actually the occasion that being celebrated was the baptism of Prince Henry, and who was the eldest son of James VI, who was Mary's son. And the ship was used to serve fish. And the world's oldest surviving football, aka soccer ball for us Americans, was discovered at Stirling Castle. It was found lodged in the rafters of the palace, and it was made around 1540 from a pig's bladder and leather skin. It is now held by the Smith Art Gallery and Museum in Stirling. And for some more current events, Mel Gibson visited Stirling Castle in 1995. The Hollywood actor who starred in and directed the film Braveheart was here to attend the film's premiere party held at Stirling Castle. And you can get married there, you can have conferences there, you can visit it there now. It has a lot of really, really cool things, and I know my next trip to Scotland, I'm going to make a trip to Stirling Castle because it's that awesome. So everybody, Stirling Castle.
You've been to Scotland before?
I have been to Scotland.
There you go.
It's one of my favorite places in the world. It is absolutely beautiful, and the Scottish people are awesome. So before we wrap up, predictions really quick?
Let's do it, baby.
Let's do it. AFTERBUZZ predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
All right, Phil, you're going first.
Oof. You know what? I'm interested how we left on such a powerful image with Catherine. I'm wondering where it's gonna go in terms of how they're gonna deal with Diane and who's gonna know the full extent. Because for all Bash knows, he's written his mother off as he's never gonna see her again. Mm-hmm. And this is now could be he's certainly not gonna see her alive. You know, and obviously, Francis and Mary's relationship is on the up and up. To what extent, we'll find out. I think the most fun thing to see, hopefully, will be Conde and Lola.
Yeah.
Because they're so fierce that I think it'll be the same type of kind of romantic play that we saw with Narcisse and Lola, and if we can match that, it could be a lot of fun.
Isn't it weird that like Lola's kind of Marion Francis's like whore a little bit? Like it's kind of sad. Like Francis used her for Narcisse to like, do things with Narcisse for political reasons, and now Mary's using her for Conde. I don't know if it's quite right, and I don't know why Lola's so okay with it, but you know what? I think she's just a really good friend, and she sees where she's needed and where she can be used. And
Keetin, I have a couple of people that you need to handle for me.
Oh God. No, Phil. Okay, my predictions. We kind of did not touch on this, but Bash did save Catherine's life when she fell kind of asleep in the snow, and she even asked him, "Why are you saving me?" And because those are the only two that really know the full extent of Diane and what she did, and probably why she kind of did deserve to die, or why we aren't going to blame Catherine too hard for killing her. I feel like their relationship is going to start to grow, and in a positive way. So that will be very interesting to see kind of that happen. And I think he's going to get over the stupid fight with Kenna, like Bash.
He already kind of did. He did.
Okay.
It's not like he's gonna. He did.
I think Conde is gonna really piss Mary off, especially when his brother shows up. I think Mary's gonna see another side of Conde, and she's not gonna like it. And I think that's gonna put him in danger. But then Lola's feelings for Conde will now compromise how Mary wants to treat Conde when she stops favoring him.
And I want to see, I don't know if there's still a lot of land to be given out, so we'll see if that continues to be at play, or if it's like, okay, yes, that was a big problem this week, but we'll just kind of.
And you know what I really want to see? I'm very interested to see when we're going to see Queen Elizabeth the First, because she has been cast, and so I wonder how soon at the second half of the season that we will get to see her. If at all. I think she's been cast. I believe I read that she was cast. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but let us know your predictions. And until next week, right?
That's right. And as mentioned, definitely continue the conversation. You guys are so wonderful, to the fact that you guys send us gifts. Again, not required.
Now Phil's requiring the gifts. See?
I require my co-host to get me gifts, not you, the fans.
My birthday's coming up, so.
Oh, congratulations. What are you getting me?
It's my birthday.
No, you're supposed to pay for the party.
Phil, where can we find you, just so you can remind everybody?
At AFTERBUZZ TV.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram.
When can people wish you happy birthday?
On Twitter and Instagram at Keetin Marchi.
No, but when?
When? February 13th is my birthday, the day before Valentine's Day. So.
Ooh, that's so rough.
It is rough.
Good night.
Night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.